Welcome everyone to another video, a new fourth part episode, or whatever you want to call it, of F1 Manager Maserati Career Mode. As the point of this video, you might have known what has been going on so far. Let's take a look. Let's take a walk. We've been having some decent enough results. They're not great. We expect a lot more. The main things that are struggling for us, we've had 3 races, and we haven't been having, our drivers have been performing to the best of their abilities. Giovinazzi is being close to being at the top, but we're starting to see small problems. The least of which is the loss of development for our drivers to a certain extent. They're not doing very well. 78 and 76 rated Robert Schwartzman and Antonio Giovinazzi and Robert Schwartzman respectively. That's a struggle. It's a struggle. But we have a first set of upgrades coming in pretty quickly, in quick succession. 11 days to the Suzuka Grand Prix. But if we take a look at the calendar, we've got tomorrow our rear wing and front wing design coming in. Our side pods are going to be completed, and we're going to have our first underfloor come in on this week's Saturday, a week before the next Grand Prix, which means two of our 4 parts will be in for the next race, which also means that for the next race we will have at least an underfloor, if not more. I'm gonna fast forward so we get those 2 coming in. I'm gonna go to manufacture front wing. I'm gonna manufacture 4 front wings. This will come in for the next Grand Prix, and the next one we're gonna do is the rear wing, which is also should come in for the next Grand Prix. There we have it. There we go. Our suspension is in. Our side pod is in. A lot of things coming in at the same time. It's looking good. As you can see, this means that our first car, we've got our first set of upgrades. The only things that have not yet had an upgrade on them is the chassis, side pod, and suspension. Our first 3 upgrades are in. Now, I want to take a look at how much we gain with each component. Okay, go to car analysis. We're going to change this to ourselves. Change the car to where have we gained majority in a large amount. We've gained predominantly, so we've lost out in top speed. We've gained in dirty air tolerance, in high speed, and a little bit in medium speed, and a little bit in low speed. That's good. We've maintained everything else. We've lost out. We've maintained acceleration, and we've lost out on top speed. I don't know if I already said that. This puts us into 6th best, which means the 3rd best car on the grid from the 5th best car on the grid in high speed, which is useful for the next Grand Prix. Now, we also obviously have a front wing coming in that puts us, in terms of components, it puts us with the best low speed out of a front wing, which is really nice to see. That gets us 10 positions as it stands, which is great to see that. 10 positions overall, that puts us into 7th. That's good. I'm curious to see how much I gain this. This should be there we have it. The drive development. Shorpton is improving. Delphine Clement is also improving. Substantially so. Accuracy is still leaves a little bit desired. Overtaking defending is something to be left to be desired, but it's good enough. We have a few components in now. We're gonna put both cars onto the same underfloor. Oh no, wait, no. We're gonna see what the fully upgraded car for Suzuka gets us. All right, this puts us into the 4th, 5th best car on the grid. Maserati. We go to car 2. And we've gained massive amounts overall. We've gained in top speed, we've gained in acceleration, we've gained in DRS effectiveness, and a lot in cornering. The only place where we have more or less maintained is tire preservation and engine cooling. Tire preservation is up slightly, but engine cooling is not. We have not lost or gained any weight. This puts us as, what is that, 5th? 6th or 5th? 5th best car, 4th or 5th best car on the grid, which is nice. It's nice to know that we have a car that can perform. We are going to put these components on both cars because we have them. We might as well. It's a slight risk, but I have faith in that everything will work out. Anyway, we've done our first set of stuff, training schedule. I'm gonna try to just keep getting time on it. We need to take a look at people that we want to replace. So I'm gonna go into scouting. I'm gonna go into head of aerodynamics. Diego Tondi is open to negotiations for next season. He's only a year older than our current head of aerodynamics. So I am gonna try and sign Diego Tondi. So I think I'm going to sign him. I'm going to propose a contract for next season. We're going to put him onto 2 seasons. Let's do 3. Let's put him on the 3 seasons. We will bump him up to a 450k salary. I'm going to make it into a massive breakout clause. And we're going to give him... We're going to say, sign with us immediately. Maybe not even give him a signing bonus. I mean, 400k per month, that's great for next season. This gets us in just no hold bars. And it loses no money right now. This is possibly the best signing we can do. That's beautiful. So we've got our head of aerodynamics sorted. Someone what we need to keep an eye on. What's his 3 million to break his contract? So there's a possibility he could get poached. It's not a lot, of course. I'm going to go into scouting and I'm going to see if Jonathan Wheatley is open to negotiation. We could buy him out right away as well. Alternatively, I think getting someone on the younger side is a better idea for the long run. So I'm going to scout Randeep Singh and then perhaps getting him in for next season based on anything that's going on in the background. Got a sponsorship plan coming up. We're gonna get that going. I'm gonna put in one of our. We'll put in weather center. No, I'm not gonna put in weather center. I will put in guided tours, and that's gonna get us right over that threshold. That's enough. We're not gonna overdo it. And okay, we can achieve a lot here. We should be fighting for points as it stands, with both cars that are supposedly very strong. We are gonna start looking into a next set of upgrades. What can we do in terms of upgrades? 24 days left. I think it's gonna be major upgrades now from this point onwards. We want to get as many upgrades as we can. The main ones that we want to now focus on is rear wing and chassis. So I'm thinking we go for chassis or suspension. Chassis, suspension, and rear wing. Let's go into suspension. Where do we get side pod? Where does the side pod come into play? Okay, engine cooling is side pod. So side pod, suspension, and chassis. Those are our worst aspects. So I'm going to take a look at analysis. We're going to go into chassis, and we're going to see which aspect is the worst. Side pod we can leave for a little later. I think suspension is the first major upgrade we're going to do. We're going to do a suspension, major suspension overhaul, where we'll put in, think about 90%. We'll put in 6. 5.9. We'll put in 80. Put it 82. There we have 10 left over for anything else. A minor upgrade for the rear wing, perhaps. Now, where we're losing out specifically is, as it stands, this will gain us in performance in a bunch of aspects. Like I said last time around, I'm not changing any of the lifespan. I want to leave it as it is, because then we know for a fact that we can get a bunch of performance just by reducing the lifespan and forcing it into everything else. Instead, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to focus on medium speed, and drag reduction as our main sources of income, and tire preservation. I'm going to put it into tire preservation. And this should get us performance in every aspect of the car, and a slight improvement in medium speed. One thing that is weird, though, is that there's no performance differentiation. We could lose about a kilo, like 0.2 kilos, 200 grams, and gain a bunch of performance. Alternatively, we could just leave it as it is and just go completely lower it. Where else are we losing out specifically? DRS effectiveness, but that's affected only by a rear wing. Okay. This gets us performance. And medium speed. -20th -2. Yeah, that puts us last, but that's it's fine. This gets us performance just overall, and I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna use that to the best of my ability. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do an intense one here because it's gonna be a major upgrade. We want to get as much return on investment as we can. This puts 3 million into that. We are trying to stay above a certain threshold. We'll see how it goes, and we're going to put in one more upgrade, which is going to be a minor rear wing upgrade. Puts us the rest of our ATR, and this will be our first one that we do in just performance. This gets us a bunch of performance in low speed and medium speed as well, and as you can see, this is getting us a slight amount of performance, and I think we're gonna be good here. Now, I'm not gonna spend money on this one, even though it gets us in time. I want to keep some money over for it later on in the season when we may or may not need it. And with that, we've done everything we need to do, and let's get into race targets. Let's do the race, and for those of you that don't know, over here we perform at a level where we want to, where we simulate FP1, 2, and 3, Q1 and Q2 and Q3, and then manage the races. But the managing of the races is done kind of off camera. Basically, you guys will not see it. I will manage the races. I'll give you a rundown of if anything special happens in the race, which there's a slight possibility because it's going to rain for the race weekend. It's going to rain in practice. It's going to rain in the race, but not on qualifying day. So there's a high possibility that we're going to have the 23 seconds pit stop time. Stand 466k left to gain. Let's take a look at what we can achieve. Okay, we're still on the same. We're still on the first component with Giovinazzi, so we're not going to be changing that anytime soon. With Schwartzman, we are going to simulate till qualifying, and then we'll switch over to the main aspect. All right, so we've got a car part missing now, and this component is now going bad. Okay, so Schurman has 61%. Could I improve this? I absolutely could, but I'm not going to because that's not what we do here. Simulate Q1, 2, and 3. Let's take a look. Okay, qualifying. P10 and 11. That's great. It's good to know that we have now successfully found pace in the race weekend. 28.3 was our best time. That could have put us P9 if Giovinazzi had somehow replicated that qualifying. That's good. I think this is the first time in this season so far that Schwartzman has been out-qualified by Giovinazzi. It's great. race 4, and it works, and it's gonna go dry near the end of the race. That's surprising. Now, it's being recommended to us to do the 2-stop. How far will that get us? An extremely conservative strategy will get us that. Okay, we're gonna delete this one, and delete this one, because that's absolutely not gonna work. We can do that strategy, I feel. That strategy is gonna be very good. Now, we're gonna put 3 laps of fuel down. No, we do 2 laps of fuel. Let's do 2 laps. 2 laps will be doable. 3 laps might get a bit difficult later on in the race. That's so let's get into it. For those of you that are new here, welcome, like, subscribe. If you want to see these races in its entirety, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys once this race is over or finishing. '11th was the best he could do. Okay. We've not gotten points. But at a time where Schwartzman should have performed, he's made too many mistakes. And I do not like that. Getting us a P11 Giovinazzi only lost out 1 position, but 2 cars that were realistically should have been faster than us, and they were. Yes, Martins. We are fighting them for the next spot in the Constructors' Championship. They're on 11 points. Now, getting 11 points is going to be very, very difficult. Chances that we do that, very minimal. But it's only 4 races. It's only been 4 races thus far, and hey, these races have been very wild so far, and we're holding steady. Schwartzman had to do a 3-stop. Just made mistakes, lock up, lost the front wing, got a penalty, had to serve the penalty in the pits, and yeah, it's just not good enough. But anyway, it's fine. We got 1 driver getting in us 11th, 233k. We're still in the plus. So, our final front wing is in, but we need another wing to be safe here. Our front wing, we need to manufacture 1 more as a way to substantially be alright for the long run. Now, 19 days, our major suspension upgrade comes in. Our underfloor is in, and we've got a minus regulation vote, which we'll do for the next part or episode, however you want to call it. And with that, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. If you want to see the whole race, leave a comment. And once we get to maybe race 10 or something, I'll start uploading the races that I've recorded so far. And you can see what's going on. Peace out, and get out of here.